And love. Yep. No. L. O. To the B. To the E. Show love. If you don't show love, then you get no love. And when you don't show love, then you get no love. Now you wanna show love, 'cause I get mad love. Mad love. Mad love.
Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad to see all of you again today. And for those of you who have tuned in on audio, thank you so much for joining. Okay, today is a little pullback because we have a fantastic guest on who is a skin therapist. So it is all about the skin today. So I made sure that I pulled my hair back so that we can really talk to it. You know what I mean? So I want all of you to do me a favor and tell 5 friends to tune in, because my guest is highly sought after. And she is going to impart some serious knowledge that we can all take literally to the bank. Okay. So, let me tell you about Samantha, because I have skin therapist Samantha on. I met her when I was in search of a esthetician. And I'm telling you, she did not disappoint. I made sure that I drove all the way to Brooklyn. Yes. So, folks, when you're in New York and you say you have to drive all the way to Brooklyn, you already know that you do not live in Brooklyn. And then when you know that it's street parking and you truly understand the lay of the land, you know that you better set your time to get there early so that you can get a parking space. So I was not going to miss this opportunity whatsoever. So as I said, I have Samantha Mims on. She is a skin therapist, and you can find her at Epilogic. Actually, let me correct that. She's at Brooklyn Face and Eye. Okay, she's also the founder of Dermsa. And I'm so sorry. You see, everybody wants to disturb me, and I'm on with Samantha. We can't. You do not disturb me when I'm on with Samantha. That's not happening. And she's head of education at Epilogic as well. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Samantha on. Okay, here we go. Samantha.
Hi,
How
Gina.
are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. That was really nice.
Oh, you're such a sweetheart. Can you see our background here?
Yeah,
You like that?
I do.
All right. Well, if Samantha likes it, well, then I love it. So then we're just going to continue on. So you're doing well today?
I'm doing pretty well. Today's been a bit chill and a bit busy, quite both in a sense, but I've been good. I've been anticipating this conversation, so I'm really happy to be on and
I
be
love
talking
it.
to you today. Yeah,
I
answering
love
some
it. I love
questions
it.
as well.
I so appreciate, you agreeing to be on. I'm not shy. For those of you out there that don't really know, Gina, I am not shy. Samantha just did her thing. And I said, you know what? Could you be on the show, please? And she graciously agreed. So Samantha, I want you to tell us about yourself. As you already know, the show is about wellness. And you
Yes.
are doing some amazing things,
Thank
right
you.
now. But I know that there was a journey for you to
Yes.
get where you are. So just full transparency, talk to us for a little bit on your journey.
For sure. A little bit about myself. I'm Samantha Mims. I'm a 30-year woman who from Philadelphia, also by way of Southern New Jersey. So both are home. I started, or I guess what fueled my love for beauty at a young age, just doing a lot of self-research. I love magazines. So I was always flipping through 17, Essence, Ebony, all the cool Black and fashionable articles, just to kind of find knowledge and just curious about skincare, how the skin worked, nutrition, all of those types of things.
Okay.
Also, my mother, she swore by Avon growing up. She had an Avon woman who would come to the house and like deliver, send off the catalogs, and she would look and find. That's how she found her beauty. So that was like a very large influence as to like what stemmed my interests, I guess, in skincare and originally. Um, I moved to New York in 2011, and I started off, I obtained my bachelor's in science at St. Francis College in Brooklyn Heights,
Mm-hmm.
and took some time off, and then afterwards jumped right back into for a program at Christine Valmy, is
Okay.
where I got my license for skin therapy, and kind of that's where everything has started. So I've been practicing since 2017.
Uh-huh.
Um, I started out in a yoga studio, actually. That was like my first home after initially
Hmm.
graduating. And that was really nice because I was able to kind of be in an environment and work my own, find my voice, I guess, find my
Right.
style. I had that time to find my style. And then I jumped into working with Equinox. I was their lead skin therapist at the Soho location for about a year and a half, and then that is what brought me to Brooklyn Face and I.
Wow. Look at that. So there would you
Yeah,
see everyone, there was work that was
yeah,
put in. Samantha put some work in. Wow. That's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. And you,
So
huh?
that's like the very short story of it. There's definitely like more things in
There's
there,
more to
but
it, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of completes like the journey as to where
Did
I'm
you have
at
any
now.
Did you have any like were there any I don't want to say pitfalls, but pitfalls, on your way? Where there was anything that you came across that was discouraging and maybe you didn't want to go on, but you decided, you know what, I'm going to go on?
Yes. There was moments where one, it was really hard to connect with other Black specialists.
Mm,
I didn't, even in school, we didn't have any Black teachers or anything teaching us the curriculum and about skincare. So a
mhm,
lot of it had to come through experience.
mhm.
And I did my part. At least I tried. I always made sure I invited my family in and friends and people of color into the spaces
Right.
that I worked in to kind of test out myself. It's like really just kind of working through that experience hand in hand or day, client by client. Um,
Mhm.
there was moments too of just, you easily can compare yourself. I feel like in New York, especially in New York City, like living here, like
Mhm.
you can easily fall into the warps of looking at your peers, looking at other people in the industry, seeing how far they are as to where you are, and using that as a benchmark or I guess to measure your success. And
Mhm.
once I kind of got over that hump of like, no, girl, you got this. You got your story. Your vibe is your vibe. That's what really kind of allowed me to step into my power a little bit more and be confident
Mhm.
about the work
I love
and
it.
the people that I served.
I love it. I love it
Mm-hmm.
because I truly believe that once you say, you know what, this is for me,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I want to do, like then everything just continues to flow because
Exactly.
you're
Yeah.
not so hard on yourself. Everything is much easier, everything is lighter.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, okay, I can get this done. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
30 years old, you are rocking. Mm,
Thank
yeah,
you.
for those of you who are listening to us, I encourage you, please, to come on YouTube. If you can't do it right now, do it later so you can see beautiful Samantha's Mims. I'm telling you, her skin is glowing. Wow. So tell us something, because once I posted that you're a skin therapist, there were
Mm-hmm.
questions is what is the difference between a skin therapist and an esthetician, or is there a difference?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, there is no difference. That's a good question. There isn't a
Mhm.
difference. It's more just about preference. I like to go by the name of skin therapist because I feel it holds a little bit more weight or it tells a story as to my title, my occupation. An esthetician, anybody's an esthetician, but skin therapy,
Mhm.
I feel, is a body of work where it's not just about fixing skin, but it's also educating people through knowledge, setting them up for success at home, whether if that is like putting up some sort of like guideline or creating a plan for each client, talking about lifestyle and asking them questions about, you know, their lifestyle essentially. So I think that's what therapists do. And yeah,
and hence,
yeah,
you being a skin therapist.
exactly.
I love it. I
So
love it. I love it. I
yeah.
already have there's some folks that came in, so we're just gonna quickly just check the comment line here.
Okay.
It
Cool.
says, so we have Wade. We have Wade. He's coming from Atlanta. He's saying
Hi,
hello. We have Salisa Willett. Hi, Gina.
Okay.
CC. Yes, and she's actually CC's in Mississippi.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sweet.
no, actually, she's in Tennessee. I'm sorry, she's in Tennessee. Yeah, she's in Memphis,
Amazing.
Tennessee. So yeah, we have some folks. So far we have Memphis and we have Georgia. We have Jersey. We have Dawn Gray saying hello. Great to see
Hello.
you. We have Mr. Sage. He says, "My goodness, she's beautiful." Crush.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Diane, everybody's just saying hello to you. You look beautiful. Samantha is very beautiful indeed. You know, so fans. So we're going to well, you told me about how you got interested in skincare, and you know, it's like the same thing with me. My mom was really into skincare. She was into cleansing, she was into toning. After the toning, I remember the moisturizer, and then every, you know, morning and night, she was true to the formula. And I mean, my sister and I just picked it up because she taught us, and that's what we were supposed to do. And, you know, I kind of fell off a little bit, and then I got back into it, and I realized how important, you know, a proper skincare regimen is. Right. You know, it's really nothing to just behave as if it doesn't matter, because it really does make sense. Well, I tell you, so head of education at Epilogic. Well, first, before we even get into that, can you just explain, just let us all know about Epilogic. What is Epilogic?
Yes. Epilogic is a skincare brand. Epi is essentially means the surface of the skin, first layer, and just logic, meaning the idea, logic behind beauty and so forth. So Epilogic, I actually was introduced to the brand in 2019, I want to say. Yeah, that was the first time I was introduced to the brand. I met Dr. Jennington, which is a lovely doctor or oculofacialist at Brooklyn Face and Eye Practice. She is the founder of Epilogic. She actually had a launch for the brand in 2019 is when they launched. And she invited me to their launch breakfast. We kicked it off immediately. Synergy was there, and that's kind of what stemmed the relationship that we have now. I started working with Epilogic for a collaborative event at Dumbo House in light of their first launch. And that is kind of how the partnership that we have now started.
Wow, you see that? And for those of you who may be thinking about attending an event, you're like, I don't know if I should go. Look at this. If you didn't attend that event, it probably wouldn't have happened. Maybe it would have, you know. I mean, she may have had another event and invited you, but that was your elevator moment, you know, to go and collaborate. I mean, listen, I'm loving it.
I had to go. Like I knew after I left my last working environment, I wanted to partner and work within a clinical space. Right. So it actually came like divine time. It was like I had been reaching out to other dermatologists and just to see if they had space for me in their practice. And I had this idea, and I was really keen on making it work. And she heard it, and she loved it immediately. I was like, "She's my person. This is her." So yeah,
you said she's my person, and she said, "She's my person."
Right, exactly. That's what happened.
Wow. So tell us, Samantha, how important is it to choose the right products? for your
Yeah.
face? Mhm.
So, and choosing the right products is very important. That
Mhm.
kind of will determine your skin's health, long term, short term, all the things. Um, and that is kind of as to why I make it a point to set clients up during their sessions with just a product suggestions list after they've had a treatment by me. That allows me to kind of like get them on some sort of regimen. If they already
Mhm.
have one, great. If they don't, cool. That works for them. So I'm able to really, I don't just stop or end it there after their treatment. I make sure I kind of create a relationship with each of my clients, keeping up with them, checking in on them, making sure they're doing good at home, if their routine has
Mhm.
switched up, if they need to switch or add anything to the mix.
Right.
That's essentially kind of like how I go about my treatments and keep in touch with my clients and make sure their at home regimen is tight.
And that makes sense too, because sometimes we can tend to get a little lazy. But if we
Hmm.
have somebody that we can refer back to just,
Exactly.
help us out a little bit and just give us that little bit of push,
Yeah.
because it makes sense. It makes sense
Hmm.
to have somebody there with you, because I
Yeah.
remember after you finished with my facial, I asked you, I said, okay, but what's the next one that I should try? And without even skipping a beat, you recommended. And then you all said, also go back, see the ones that I offer,
Hmm.
and, based on what I recommended to you, just also see what the other ones are there as well. And,
Hmm.
we can talk about it. So I really appreciated that. I was
Yeah.
in, I
Good.
was, I was there for about an hour. It was about an
Yeah.
hour.
Hmm.
Yeah, about an hour. And you created the facial that I had. You
Hmm.
actually created that. So
It did.
tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
that
So
particular
Gina, you
facial.
came in for the microinfusion master plan facial.
Mm-hmm.
It is a new treatment that we've added to the menu. I created the master plan facial in light of the relaunch of Epilogic. Epilogic has went through a second launch with newer, improved formulas, newer packaging, and so we kind of spiced it up. It made it look a lot more, cuter.
Uh-huh.
And with the master with the master plan serum, which is the cult favorite of the line, it is a collagen based serum that has some growth factors in there. It also includes it's coupled with some hyaluronic acid too for like hydration support. So it's really geared for people who are looking to get increase or improve their hydration levels, but
Mhm.
also their collagen support as well too, if you want to kind of like work on fine lines and those types of things. So the master plan facial was created simply centered around the master plan serum itself.
Mhm.
Um, when creating the facial, it came kind of naturally. I just used all of the other treatments that I already offer and kind of started to think about, well, what would be nice and could be coupled together. That's
Right.
really lovely. That's going to kind of
Mhm.
take it up a step further than the general simple facial, but
Mhm.
really make you feel like you left out with something. And that's kind of even why I included the microinfusions. For those who are watching who don't know what microinfusions are a baby version of like microneedling. It is a small stamp-like device that includes tiny microneedles that kind of get stamped into the skin. And with that stamping, I also include the serum, the master plan serum, and that serum gets injected into the skin on a much deeper level. You rest under a little bit of LED light therapy, which I thought was really important to add to the facial as
Mhm.
well, to kind of help with
Mhm.
just tonifying, skin repairing, and those things.
Right.
And yeah, and that's really what brought the treatment together, making it tying the clinical with the natural component and making
Mhm.
them marrying them together. Yeah.
Right, right, right. Well, it was amazing. And I
Thank you.
definitely look forward to, trying another one when I go. Um, I actually started using the master plan prior
Mhm.
to me coming in. And this is it, everyone. This is the master plan. Let me tell you something. This is master platinum. Okay. This,
Master Platinum. I like
right?
that.
This is so amazing. And also, too, I use Epilogic's True Calm. This is,
Mhm.
can you see? Okay. This is the True Calm. This is the cleanser.
Mhm.
So, as Samantha said, it is very important to use quality products on
Yeah.
your face. All right. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to spend a whole lot of money, because there are products out there that don't cost as much as another one may cost. But I can
Mhm.
tell you that Epilogic's line is beyond amazing. And so I use it. I absolutely loved it. So using the products before I even came in was fabulous. And then actually receiving Samantha's signature facial, that just put it over the top. So, I mean, I'm a fan. I love it. Thank you so much.
Good,
So
good.
some other questions that I received was what treatment is most beneficial? Steam, peel, waxing, facials. Like what would you say would be most beneficial?
Well, all of those treatments are different and offer different
Mhm.
benefits in their own right. So it really just depends on the person, what their goal is, and what they're looking for. So I wouldn't suggest laser for somebody who barely has discoloration. I wouldn't say that that works for everybody. Not everybody is a candidate for that.
Mhm.
Facials are typically safe and universal. They go for
Mhm.
everyone, no matter your skin type, state of your skin, or anything. So I always say, as a skin therapist, a facialist, I'm of course going to always say go for the facial, right? Um, but it really all simply just comes down to what your concerns and what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, is everybody see how Samantha is glowing? I mean, my light is a little off, but her face
Thank
is
you.
glowing. And in the world of when we take care of our skin, we say
Mhm.
that that's hydration, right?
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
hydration. Okay. And she is glowing
Mhm.
with her hydration.
Thank
But I
you.
also believe in facials. They're
Mhm.
very important, at least every 6 weeks, if you can. If you
Right, right.
can't and you try to do something at home, figure it out. But it's so important to slow off that top layer and bring
Mhm.
the layer underneath up, that way your products can really go in. But if you
Exactly.
can, it's important to really and truly get a professional facial, because no matter what you do at home, you can't get it like the professionals do. I mean,
Mhm.
would you concur,
Right.
Samantha? I
I
mean, let's
always
be
I
real.
always say that I always recommend to clients that they
Mhm,
should be in between their sessions every 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes
mhm,
6 to 8 weeks. It really just depends on what you can manage, because
mhm,
it's expensive, like,
mhm.
and to be in every 4 weeks, you look up and you're like, oh my God, I have another treatment.
I know, I know, I know, I know,
Right,
I
it's a
know.
bill, but it's worth it. I feel like if you're serious about your skin's health, if you really are trying to maintain the vitality of the skin and the
Mhm.
youthfulness, like,
Right.
that doesn't come with just a lazy, lax routine. It
Yeah.
definitely has to include a really well rounded routine at home, but also, like,
Mhm.
as if like you're treating. I always tell clients to view facials as less of a luxury and more of a necessity, more like your doctor's appointment, right? You're not like
Yes.
lollygagging on your doctor's appointment. You're
Yes.
like kind of making it a regular thing, whether if it's quarterly,
Right.
4 times a year, or twice a year, something of those natures.
Right.
View it in that light, because then you be able to be more comfortable with making that sacrifice and kind of fitting it in your lifestyle.
I
Yeah,
agree. I agree. Even if you're able to, because everyone is in different points in their lives. Nobody's trying to tell you,
exactly.
So if you can, and you could put a little bit away and a little bit away if that's what your budget is. If you're able to just go ahead and get your facial, I'm all in with somebody getting a facial. And like Samantha said, you might not be able to go every 4 to 6 weeks, but if you could just experience it with a really good skin therapist, wink, wink, we have one on right now, and you experience, what it's like to have a great facial with quality ingredients. I mean, trust me, your face will look so different after that facial. And you can do your best to maintain what your skin therapist / esthetician has done. It's possible. But to take that top layer off, you'll see sometimes you don't realize it, but your skin may be dull, right? Quite dull. And then it's just like, oh my gosh.
Right. Makes a difference for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. So let me go back over to the comment line. Let's see what they're saying here. So we have Darlene saying, let me see if I can show this one. Can you see that one there? Yeah. I've been looking for the right products for aging skincare. Can you recommend some and what that regimen looks like?
Yes. So anti-aging. I recommend, well, I'm going to say Epilogic for sure. But I feel like if you're looking for a routine that includes like anti-aging products, you definitely want to make sure you're having like a retinol within your routine, a little night treatment, something that is going to increase the collagen stimulation, but also kind of help with smoothing out fine lines, keeping the texture nice and smooth, keeping the complexion super even, having an antioxidant serum of some sort, any of your favorite vitamin C treatments. Daily dose out of the Epilogic collection is fab. That is like your daily vitamin for the skin. That's also important. SPF too. Like, I won't even talk about anti-aging. If you're not using SPF, you can just forget about it. Like, I think there's been a lot of misconceptions around SPF, and just growing up being people of color, always not being satisfied, not being able to find the right SPF for your skin, because a lot of times it has that zinc oxide in that includes that cast on our skin. So we're not always comfortable wearing SPF. Right. But I always tell people, like, there's SPFs out there that are very translucent and are great for the skin. You just got to try and find the right one for you. But definitely having an SPF in there that is the secret to keeping the skin youthful, period. Anything else outside of that is like, can't stand a chance if you don't have SPF included.
I agree. So one of the things that I had to figure out was how to layer my products.
Right.
Because that's something that I'm not going to say everyone struggles with, but sometimes you just don't know. So can you help us out here? So you have the cleanser, and then after the cleanser, if you're using a serum, go ahead. I'll let you take over. Expert.
Yeah. So if you're cleansing, you're definitely obviously starting off with a good cleanse, right? Then you're usually going to follow up with a toner of some sort. That's optional. Not everybody needs or uses toners, so I always say like that's an optional step, right? After your toning process, you want to kind of follow up with your serums. So think of it as your lightest to heaviest. That's the layering pattern or the flow of layers. Your lightest products to your heaviest products. After you tone, you'd follow up with any of your treatment serums. If it's during the day, obviously you probably would be using some sort of like vitamin C treatment, another serum of your choice. And then you want to seal it all off with your moisturizer, your SPF. Same pretty much goes for the evenings as well. Only thing that changes in the evenings is maybe the steps of your serums. So if you have a retinol that you're using, you definitely want to make sure you cleanse, you follow up with your retinol, and then you follow up with any other serums that you might like. And obviously, of course, you want to seal that in with your moisturizer.
Wow.
Those are just like the things that really change, but generally it's like the same process. I always tell people to like don't overcomplicate it. If you're not really a beauty person,
Right.
don't add too many steps into it, because then it'll be harder to stick with consistency.
Yeah. It'll feel like a chore. It'll feel
Exactly.
like a chore.
It
Right.
should feel fun. It should feel like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I have to do this. This is like, I wake up and like, if I don't do this, I feel a bit incomplete. Right?
Right.
Like, you're not gonna leave the house without showering. Like,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So like, it's a thing where it should kind of just come naturally at that point.
I feel the same way. You know, if I fall asleep and before I wash my face, I'll wake up and I was like, huh, I didn't do my face. Wait a minute. No. You know, and I'm uncomfortable just going to bed. If I wake up and just to go right back in the bed and I have not cleansed my face, I'm uncomfortable. You know, I feel like, oh, my pores are going to hate me in the morning. And so I make sure that I do my regimen. But, you know, one of the points that you just made was pretty good. I love it because you said in the mornings, you would do the cleanse and then your serums light to heavy, and then your moisturizer and your SPF. But at night, after you cleanse, you use the retinol, then do light to heavy with your serums, and then the moisturizer. And the other thing that I do is I wait about a minute in between each application of something, because otherwise everything gets all muddled and it doesn't allow to properly absorb in the skin in terms of it doing what it's supposed to do before you put something else on. So it's important to wait in between the applications of, you know, whatever it is that you're using.
Right.
So and then for saggy neck and eyes, what do you recommend for that?
Your skincare regimen is always should be applied to the neck as well, because think about it, the neck is an extension of our face, right? So use your entire routine from face and neck down to your décolleté. I think it's safe enough to do that. So that's what keeps the skin nice and tonified, tight and pretty, all those things. Even for your hands too. I like to put like my skincare on my hands, because our hands are like the most quickest way to show our age, right? You look at someone's hands and you're like, oh, like, you're not showing anything.
And then you look more fabulous here, and they're like,
yeah, your hands and stuff. So it's like, that's also another part as well. Like, I make sure I'm conscious about the health of my hand care as well too. So definitely your regimen, your routine does apply to your neck. So if you're looking like, well, what products your products that you use for your face are safe for the neck as well.
For the neck as well. Right. And then, you know what, you know, in the application of products, because I know when I put it on, I'm always going up.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. You want to go in the opposite.
Exactly. Yeah.
Lift, and think lifting, tightening, face, you know, all of that, because that is going to, those repetition movements definitely help with just keeping the skin nice and tight.
Correct.
Every day,
gravity. You know, sometimes folks will wash their face or apply and then they're pulling down, and unbeknownst to them, you know, you're not defying gravity. You want to make sure that you lift. And that's one of the other fabulous things about getting a professional facial, is because the skin therapist esthetician is always defying gravity while they're, you know, working on your face. And so I also want to add that when you add the products to your neck, you also don't want to discount the back. You want to do the entire neck.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. For sure. You want to make sure you get it all. So here we have Diana's asking, you see that one there?
I do. Yeah.
So we'll let you go ahead.
Okay. Sunscreen. Okay. Yes. Sunscreen is totally recommended in any season. I would say, even if you're not directly exposed to sunlight, you want to make sure you're definitely getting that. Like, your SPF should be viewed as your moisturizer. Like, I don't even want to call it an SPF anymore. I just want to call it a moisturizer. And that is your last step. You know that you reached your last step when you seal the deal with your SPF. a lot of people think that, oh, well, I'm not directly exposed to the sun. Like, why do I need my SPF? I'm in the house, I'm working from home. But the light from our screens, from our phones, computer, TV, whatever, even just us sitting on our couch and being semi-exposed to the sunlight that comes into our place.
Yes.
That is exposure. So you have to be
Yes.
mindful of those things. So yes, I would never just say only wear your SPF in the summer or the warmer months. You want to make sure you're wearing it
All
daily
the
as your
time.
moisturizer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Wearing that SPF is so important all the time. I mean, it stays in my pocketbook. So I put it
Yeah.
on. You're supposed to put it on 15 minutes before you go out or what have you, right? So I'm like, I'm
I
so true
mean,
to it.
it
But just
is.
to
I
put it
mean,
on.
it's also like a lot of people come in and their concerns are generally the same. Oh, I'm dealing with these spots. I'm developing these marks on my face. How did it get there? And I'm like, well, do you wear SPF? And a lot of times they're like, nah. And that's the one thing out of their routine that they're kind of like, And I'm like, that's probably why. So I always tell people, start early. Start early. If you have children, get them on a nice regimen early. 14-year-olds. The youngest clients I've had were about like preteens. So, and I love that because it's like, dag, if I had that growing up, like, who knows how my face would be right now. but I love seeing the younger the better. When they have that knowledge, it really takes them far, and a lot of times they do better off in the later years as to how they look, how they feel, all the things.
But the one thing that also that I want to talk about with the SPF, all SPF is not good SPF. So we have to be careful with what we're putting on our face as far as the SPF is concerned. So you really want to do your research, with the SPF and anything that you put on your face. But I can tell you, I do my research, everyone. Okay. And I am very specific about what I use on my face. And there is a certain ingredient that's found in some products that say that they're vegan, that say that they're, what's the other one? Vegan. And then they are, what's the other one?
Cruelty free, just like parabens, all of those things.
Right, all of that, phthalate free, but there's an ingredient in there that's not good. But I can tell you, Epilogic doesn't have it. And like I said, I do my research, and they do not have that ingredient in it. And you just want to make sure. At some point, I will definitely note what they call a dirty list, so you can see for yourselves if you don't do the research on your own with certain ingredients that aren't any good, especially in the long run for your skin.
Right.
They really aren't. So you see how Samantha is glowing. And that's just great regimen. Oh my goodness. I thank you so much for joining. So what's next for Samantha? I mean, I know that you're at Epilogic, head of education. Is there something that you've always wanted to do, but you have not done yet?
Yeah, there's so much I want to do. I feel like I'm just getting started in some ways. I really can say that the last year, I've catapulted. I'm so thankful to God for it. Like all the things I've wanted, I've been granted. My clientele is growing. I'm really trying to lock in more celebrity clients. I mean, I do see a couple of celebrities now, but there's a couple of people that I'm like eager to touch. And I feel like once I do that, I feel like I did my thing. You know what I mean? I think, and these are just like, and people are like, oh, you're doing so well now. But I'm like, we all have our own personal goals that we want to reach, right? So I feel like I'm doing well, but I just think that once I have like a certain celebrities that I've done, that'll make me feel like I've accomplished a lot. Also would eventually like to come out with my own product line at some point. I feel like this is something that I would probably embark on in my older years. Maybe like when I have a family and something, and I'm really kind of trying to move out of the treatment room and kind of just lay back and low key a little bit more. I think that will be something that I would look forward to starting my own product line. eventually having my own practice as well.
Mm-hmm.
That is also, I think that'll probably come into some sort of fruition as I have a family, get older. But right
Right.
now, I live off of the thrill and the excitement of collaborative work. I love working with other people. I don't feel like I can do it on my own, and I don't want to wear all the hats. I actually don't really have interest in
I can
doing
understand
that.
that.
But I definitely want to work with people, put people on. Yeah, and just kind of that's kind of like the working format that I hope that I continue to reach, improve, and break new barriers in the beauty industry.
That's great. That's great. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, thank you so much. I mean, I know that I learned, even though I mean I'm true to my skincare regimen, and you know, my show is pretty much all encompassing of me in terms of the things that I like to do, and other folks definitely can gain knowledge from it as well. So that's why I bring on so many great guests, fantastic guests such as yourself. And like I said, I've learned, I know folks have learned based on the comments, you know, very interesting. I didn't know that, you know, and I'm sure they will share it, you know, with other people. I thank you so much, Samantha. I mean, I'm telling
Absolutely. I
you,
hope
I
I
went
answer all the questions. I hope I answer everybody's questions.
You did. Can you just give the website for Brooklyn Face and Eye, please?
Yes. So you can find me, book me, or book anyone at the practice is at Brooklyn, BROOKLYN, faceandeye.com. Or you can also follow us on Instagram at Brooklyn Face and Eye, BKLYN Face and Eye. My personal Instagram, you can keep up with me there at Samsa, at SAMSAA. Yeah. And you can also find an extension of me and like Dermasa and all the other things that I work on between there as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so very much again. Everyone, you'll see on the screen. I have all of the information, and you can find Samantha. Please book her. I mean, it's not easy to get an appointment. She's highly sought after. So you better get in there. I get a lot of compliments on my skin, and I know that she was only one time. However, it will not be the last time, because I am very, very true to skin, you know, and keeping up with my skin, you know. So thank you, Samantha.
Thank you so much, Gina, for having me. I appreciate it.
Let me see quickly. Let's see here. Everyone's saying very informative. Thank you, thanks. Everybody's just saying absolutely thanks. So I appreciate you all over again. Thank you. I hope you come back. Is there anything new going on with you? You know, just reach out to me and let me know. You know, I'd love to have you on and we can share it, because like I said, this is all about wellness, you know, learn, inspire, and uplift. And you have an incredible story of where you got where you are. And it was just you sticking with what you knew you wanted to do for yourself, regardless of the naysayers. Proud of you.
Thank you so much.
You take care of yourself, and honey, you stay hydrated.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. You take care of yourself. All right.
All right.
Okay,
I will.
Bye. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It was absolutely fantastic. Let me see. I have two more comments here. Everybody's just saying thank you for having. Thank you, Diane. A great show. I really appreciate all of you for joining in. You know, I'm very serious about health, yes, and also skin. Folks ask me, well, Gina, what do you have on your skin? And I don't know if you can really see, because it seems a little dark on my end. However, I don't have on any makeup. None of my shows, I wear any makeup. When I say that, I guess I do put on some lipstick, and I may put on some lashes, but as far as my face is concerned, I don't have anything on. All I do is cleanse, and I stay true to my skincare regimen. Okay, so I want to say thank you again to everyone. Another week, I have a fantastic guest coming, and you know, I can't end the show without thanking my sponsor, PPI Security. They specialize in city, state, and government contracts. I also want to thank all of you for joining in. I encourage you to spread the word and just also allow folks to learn what you took in today. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know what we have to do, right? You know we can't leave out without just singing and grooving to a little bit of what's that?
No.